The most disappointing thing about learning about the Borgia is that they were normal. Like, they were evil, but they were your standard issue, run-of-the-mill, powerful Italian Renaissance family evil. The truly spicy stuff, like the incest and the papal orgies, didn't happen. The Borgia were very villainized in hindsight because they did a lot of villainous stuff that was just bad. Like, you don't really have to make up anything to say that they were bad people. They were a Spanish family living in Italy, and when Pope Alexander VI/Rodrigo Borgia got the papacy, certain Italians felt a certain way about that. It also didn't help that the Borgia raped and murdered and tortured people and stole land and property from people. They weren't the only ones doing that, though. So, like, yeah, you were evil, everybody else was evil, but you're still evil kind of deal. Pope Alexander VI did have like a 13, 14-year-old mistress, so not awesome there. The Borgia were not the only cardinals to have mistresses. There was an understanding of, like, you keep that private, you don't flaunt that. The Borgia would flaunt. They would flaunt their mistresses. They flaunted their bastards in a way that was frowned upon. Cesare Borgia was a bad, bad man. I didn't care for that Showtime TV series at all, mainly because it manages to be simultaneously Cesare propaganda and Lucrezia slander. Cesare is a really great illustration of karma. He lived like an Italian Renaissance nobleman. He murdered a lot of people, tortured a lot of people, stole land from people, and then in a graphic display of reaping and sowing, the first thing that happened was he contracted syphilis, specifically an aggressive strain of syphilis that had been brought over from the New World. So you have the Columbian Exchange, where Christopher Columbus makes contact with the Americas. The sailors come back and they bring things like potatoes and tomatoes, but also this particularly aggressive form of syphilis. Cesare goes to this city where a lot of Spanish sailors were, apparently, and Cesare had a little bit too much fun and ends up contracting syphilis, this specific strain of syphilis. He had been a very vain person. Like, Cesare was known for his beauty. He was very attractive by the beauty standards of the time. And with this super syphilis, his face starts rotting. His whole body starts rotting. But he starts wearing his golden masks to cover up what the disease is doing to his body, specifically his face. But he continues to be evil. He continues to do horrible things to people. And Cesare ends up getting stabbed to death in the middle of nowhere, and his body stripped naked and left on the side of the road. I'm not gonna say he deserved it, but, like, he definitely did things that led to that outcome. There's things that people say the Borgia did that they didn't actually do, but they were still bad people for the most part. But the only one who, like, does seem to get unfairly villainized is Lucrezia. Lucrezia did not sleep with her brother, and as far as it seems like she did really try to stay out of the BS of her father and brother. The rumor that Cesare and Lucrezia had an affair seems to have originated from Lucrezia's first husband. Cesare was very controlling over his sister, and he wanted to have all this input on her life. Got to the point where her husband got sick of it, and he tells Cesare, like, why are you so obsessed with your sister, dear? You just hot for her? And Cesare, being a mature and well-adjusted adult, decides he needs to kill someone over this, so he decides he's going to kill his brother-in-law. Lucrezia does seem to have tried to help her husband escape, like, she helps her husband escape the city, but then Cesare catches her husband outside the city and kills him, makes Lucrezia a widow. But Lucrezia seemed to have tried to stay out of it for the most part, like her father and brothers meddling and politicking and all of that. She did end up outliving both her brother and her father, and she lived the last years of her life as just an Italian country lady, patronizing the arts, and that was with her third husband, I think. Yeah, the stuff about the incest among the Borgias and the papal orgies, those things were written down by their enemies, mostly posthumously, and while they did a lot of really bad things, they didn't do the things that most people remember them for.